What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today we're with Dylan's XJ again, going over some affordable but needed mods that every XJ should have. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and go with a quality bumper setup and a quality winch setup. You can get both of these. I believe he has probably $600, $700 in bumpers alone, but he's got the full metal front bumper along with the full metal rear bumper. Those give you tow points front and rear on the Jeep. And then on the front, you're going to need a winch to pull yourself out in any situation you might come into on the trails. On top of these, next mod that is an affordable but good mod you can do on your XJ is a new set of wheels. So as you guys can see, Dylan went with a pretty simple look of some steely wheels. These are very, very affordable wheels, and they totally change the look of the Jeep. There's a tons of options out there. You get beadlocks, spend a little bit more, all kinds of wheels you can get. And then when you get wheels, obviously you're going to pair that up with a set of tires. So Dylan went with BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. This was mostly a street car and went off-roading every once in a while, so that was a pretty good choice in tire. Along with wheels and tires, you're going to want to do fenders to buy yourself a little more clearance. As you guys can see, these flat fenders look awesome. I'm not sure on the actual brand of these flat fenders, but there's a ton of different companies that make these fenders for you that you guys can pick up for fairly cheap. So another pretty cheap and affordable mod that totally changes the look of your XJ is you can smoke out these two lenses here and add LED bulbs behind them. And that totally changes the look of the front end, especially if it's on like a white Jeep like this or a pretty bright color. It changes the look quite a bit. And then he has a set of truck light LED headlights, and as you guys can see, those look amazing on this white Jeep. So a simple set of headlights, tinting some other lights and adding LED bulbs can change the entire look of the front end of your Jeep. And it's a super simple mod and relatively cheap. I will link these headlights down below for you, and I'll link like the winch and the bumpers and everything like that down below in the description for you guys to check out. Alright, so now moving on to the inside, there's a couple of mods you guys can do in here for pretty cheap actually. So for starters, a good head unit. This is actually a single DIN radio setup, but it has the flip out screen, so it's a pretty big radio. I believe it's actually slightly bigger than a double DIN setup, but updating your radio makes a huge difference inside of these Jeeps. They're super outdated when you get them. So is the WJ. I made a whole video on actually one of the better head units you guys can buy for, I believe it was like 200 bucks for the Jeeps. So definitely upgrading your head unit. And then also a switch panel. So this one's not connected right now, but as you guys can see, it's a super simple setup. And then you can run the switches pretty much to anything you want. You can run your lights, lockers if you have those, rock lights, all kinds of stuff you can run to these switches. And it's a really, really clean setup, and they're in a really good spot too. If you're driving, you can just reach down, flip the switch, and keep on going. But besides these two, the next thing that I wanted to show you guys was removable doors. So on an XJ, there is actually a company that makes kits so that you can do this very easily. Dylan, however, went his own way and did this by himself, which still turned out very, very well. So it actually allows you to take the doors off of your XJ just like a Wrangler. What you do is you take these bolts out. First you have to cut the hinges so that way you can put the new pins in and the bolts. And then also you just pop this panel out, undo your plug, and pull the wire through, so that way everything's disconnected, and then you just lift your door off and you have no doors. You can do that for all of the doors on the Jeep, and I'll see if he has any photos of the Jeep with no doors, and if he doesn't, I'll go ahead and just put a picture in of an XJ with no doors. But it's a really cool mod, since that's kind of a Wrangler thing and not many people with XJs do it, or too much. However, I will say, if you do it, make sure you guys get frame stiffeners. Since it's a unibody car, you don't really want to be taking out too much. Just takes out some structure out of the car. Another pretty useful tool that you guys can put in the back of your XJ is a high lift jack. Say your winch does fail, or you might not have a winch, these are really great things to carry with you. And this one actually mounts it towards where it sits behind the back seats, and you just undo the two nuts there and the jack comes off, and you can use it for whatever you need to, and then you can go ahead and put it right back on. But this is probably one of the better mounts that I've seen available. For example, like the Wrangler ones that sit on the hood, those are kind of annoying because the jacks rust real bad, they rattle around. So this is a pretty good mounting setup. If I can find the link to these, he built them so long ago, but if I can find the link to these will also be linked down below in the description. So I hope you guys are enjoying the XJ content. I'm gonna film a couple more videos today on this XJ. For example, best budget lift. So like a lift under $750 for this. Things like that. So I do have a couple more XJ videos coming out. But as always guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.